Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. This is your Ak, Kazamak, Ban Yasharala, coming to you on this day of Gregorian date of August 13th, what the world calls Tuesday. The Most High says within the week is day number 3. So, in my reading this morning, Most High brought me to 1 John, the book of 1 John, and there's a very foundational verse there, at least for me, when I first came into the truth a few years ago, and that is 1 John chapter 3, verse 4, that says, sin is the transgression of the law. Because before then, in Christianity, if you would have asked me what sin was according to the Bible, I would have named off all different kinds of things. Some which would have really been sin. You know, murder really is sin, according to the scriptures and commandments. You know, where it says, "Thou shalt not kill." More correct translation should have been, "Thou shalt not murder." You know, stealing, those kind of things. But I also might have said things like smoking, drinking. You know, I mean, I'm not saying those things are not sin, but I'm saying I would have named things that we have come to describe or define as sin, that not knowing that the Bible very specifically tells us what sin is. Sin is the transgression of the law. So a popular sin that people are committing in Christianity, especially, that I didn't know, was resting on the wrong day. I thought the Sabbath day was the first day of the week, was Sunday. But the Bible, the Word, clearly says that it's the seventh day. And I know there's an argument about the calendar and dates changed, and I know about when we went from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar and how they skipped like 15 days or 4 days or something like that. Anyway, from what I have studied and what I have, and some teachers that I have listened to and what they've studied, I still believe that the days are in place just the way the Most High put them. I believe that's the one thing that they cannot change. Sunday is the first day of the week, so-called. Saturday is the seventh day of the week. And so that is a sin that a lot of people commit that they don't even know they're committing. But anyway, it says that the transgression of the law is sin. And so, I've known that verse. I'm familiar with that verse. But today, as I was reading, and I started at verse 1, and it talks about us being the sons of the Most High, or what the words they use are the sons of God. And verse 3 was very interesting to me. It stuck out to me today. Verse 3 did, because it said that anyone who has this hope purifies himself, even as he is pure. Well, what hope is that referring to? Well, the two verses preceding that, for us to get context, is the hope that we are the sons of the Most High, and when the Messiah returns and we see him as he truly is, that we're going to be changed into a similar or into like fashion. Meaning, when we see him in his eternal body, then we too shall be translated or receive our eternal body. So now we will be immortal as he is immortal. And what it was saying is, for those of us who have that hope, that really believe that, we will do our best to purify ourselves now from sin, even as he is pure, because he is without sin. And so, and it's just interesting that came right before verse 4 that tells us what sin is: transgression of the law. So right now we are supposed to be doing our best to unlearn the lies as the Most High shines light on sin in our lives, to get rid of that, to purify ourselves from that, and then to actually begin to practice the laws, or to do the laws that maybe we weren't doing, or to do them correctly according to the book. And that stood out to me because in my reading this morning with my son, we were reading in Ecclesiasticus chapter 44, and it was talking about Abraham and the covenant that he had made with the Most High, and how he proved his faith in the Most High, or in this covenant that the Most High was making with him, in his flesh. Meaning what? Meaning that circumcision. Meaning Abraham so believed the Most High. We always talk about he got up and left the country of his family, which was a big deal, no doubt. But what we don't a lot of times talk about is also the faith that he had to circumcise himself and his sons at a late age. He was what, 90? Something like that, in his 90s. I believe by that time Ishmael was like 13 or 14, something like that. So when he circumcised himself, that was him showing the Most High that he believed what he said. That was his faith. So I was just sharing with my son that, faith, simply put, is how we show people what we believe. You can say you believe something all you want, but as the old saying goes, actions speak louder than words. So if I tell you I believe something, you should be able to look at my life, and by what I do or don't do, that should tell you if I really believe what I say I believe. Because that's where my faith is at. My faith is in the doing of what I say I believe. And that's where the faith is at for you. If you say you believe something, okay, have faith then. If you say you have faith, having faith is not sitting by doing nothing. Having faith is doing what you said you believe, or not doing. And that's what James said. He said, you show me your works without faith, I'm going to show you my works by my faith. Roughly paraphrasing. And so, for many years, especially when the faith movement came out in the church, and everybody had faith just to make money, which is crazy. But, that's where a lot of faith, people was putting a lot of their faith. They just wanted money. And they had seen all these preachers talking about faith, and then all of a sudden they had all this money. So that's where people equated. They had this faith that their bank accounts are going to be full and all this and all that. But faith is, it's so much bigger than that. It's so much more important than that. Like, the money of this world is not even gonna last. This is not real wealth. It's not real wealth at all. So why waste your time and waste your faith for money, so-called, that's valueless, that doesn't have any value to it? In the kingdom of heaven, I'm almost positive we ain't gonna have the US dollar or the euro or the franc or any of these monetary systems based on debt. So our faith has got to be bigger than that, more important than that. Not just for the sake of money, but for the sake of the kingdom, for the sake of our getting into the kingdom. Because if we believe that when we see the Messiah and he is in his eternal body, his glorified body, his immortal body, if we have the same hope that we're going to look like him or have the same type of body as him, then that should cause us to purify ourselves. That would be our faith. Our faith should be, I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to get into this word and find out how I'm supposed to be living according to the commandments. And then begin to strip away those impurities. How I can do it as the Most High enlightens me. Because the thing is I have found in my own life that the Most High he hasn't just heaped all my imperfections on me at once and get rid of all this stuff at once. He has done it basically one or two at a time, as I can handle it, as as he knows what I can deal with. And that's what, when through what Paul said through the Spirit, is that the Most High, he knows how much you can bear. He's not going to put more on you than you're able to bear. He knows. But that, and that doesn't excuse us from the work that we have to do. What that's saying is he's good. He's so good and he's so gracious to us that he wants us to change, and he wants us to grow, and he wants us to be set free from the lies that we've learned. But he's patient enough to deal with us one at a time, two at a time, three at a time, not all of it at once, because he knows we wouldn't be able to handle that. Excuse me. So my thought today was, you say you have faith? I say I have faith. Well, faith in what? Faith in the Messiah's coming back? Yep. Faith in that we're supposed to live according to these laws? Absolutely. Well, then how do I prove it? I prove it by doing it. My actions prove what I believe. My actions prove my faith, because faith is action. So be encouraged. If you, I'm sure many of us have relatives and family members and friends, that are still in the Christian church, or some that are not even in the Christian church, but a lot of people know a little bit of Christianity, just the very popular things. They might try to tell you, no, we don't have to keep these laws, and they've been nailed to the cross, and all these different sayings. But my question to you is, well, it's not a question. My encouragement to you, my hope for you is that you continue to prove what you believe by what you do. That you continue to prove what you believe by what you do. You believe we're supposed to keep these laws? Then keep the laws. Because the scriptures say we're supposed to keep the laws. And then you will have the reward that comes with keeping the laws. Because in Hebrews it says, without faith, it is impossible to please the Most High. So if you're one that says we don't have to keep the laws, so then my question is, well, then where's your faith at? Is your faith in that Messiah, he did everything so we can just be lawless? Because 9 times out of 10, you're keeping some of those laws. Some of those very laws you say we don't have to keep. Because now you can go around and murder. Now you can be homosexual. Now you can commit adultery. Now you can just lie as much as you want. No, you don't do those things. Why? Because you believe they are sin. That's against the law. You're keeping some of the laws. You're just not keeping the laws that you don't want to keep. You'd rather worship on the first day of the week, or rest on the first day of the week, than on the 7th day of the week. When the Most High said the 7th day is the set apart day. That is the day of rest. But this world and this world system has us so blinded and so confused and so deceived. They put everything on Saturday. That's the big shopping day. It's when everybody wants to get out, and we've worked all week, and a lot of us get paid on Fridays. So then Saturday we're going to the mall and we're shopping and we're doing this and we're doing that. They did the same thing in the book. Go to Nehemiah. He had to deal with his people on the Sabbath day because merchants was bringing in stuff and they had the doors open and they were buying and selling. It just, there's nothing new under the sun. They were doing the same thing then they're doing now. So what it is we have to make a conscious decision to live our lives differently for the Most High. To live our lives according to the book, not according to tradition or according to what people say or what people think. That is most of the time a direct opposite of what the book says. So you have to know, and I'm gonna retract that. I hope you know, and I hope that you are encouraged to know you're not the only one out here. Especially, if you can hear the passion in my voice, which most people can when I begin to talk about this. If you feel as passionate, and I'm sure there's many people that are even more passionate. But sometimes sometimes it gets hard if you're by yourself. If ain't nobody around you that's doing the same thing. I will not let that be an excuse for me to back up. I will not let that be an excuse for me to sit down. I will not let that be an excuse for me to compromise. I will not compromise. I'm going to keep doing what I say I believe in, because that's my faith. I believe we're supposed to keep these laws, so I keep the laws. I believe we're supposed to have faith in Messiah and what he did for us So I have faith in Messiah. So I don't have to sacrifice anymore, because he's the final sacrifice. He was the one that did, his sacrifice was the ultimate. That's why I don't have to sacrifice anymore. That's why we don't have to keep that law anymore. He did it once and for all of Israel who's willing to accept. Or those that are not of Israel that join Israel and then accept all those laws and live by the laws of that and accept his sacrifice. Because there were people in the book that were not of Israel that were joined to Israel. When they left out of Egypt, it was Israel, and it was a mixed multitude. When the Most High was giving him the laws in Sinai, he said there'll be one law for Israel and the stranger that sojourns among them, that comes into Israel. They got to both keep the law. So you can't you can't be outside of Israel, or you can't even be inside Israel. But if you're outside of Israel, you're of another nation. You can't come into Israel talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna be of Israel, but I'm gonna live life the way I want to. Nope. You can't even be of Israel and say that. So definitely, if you're not of Israel, you can't say that. So anyway, be encouraged. You're not by yourself. You're not the only one. Though right now, there may not be a whole lot of people around you. There's not a whole lot of people around me either. But we have to be steadfast. We have to be determined. We have to have our minds made up that no matter what comes, we're going to do what the Most High told us to do, so that we can get into his kingdom and spend eternity with him, because that is the ultimate goal. That is the ultimate prize. That is the ultimate gift. That is better than anything we could ever have, is his presence for eternity. We can't even imagine what that's going to be like. We can't even imagine. Have a wonderfully blessed day, Israel. And be encouraged. Be encouraged today. Walk with your head tall, shoulders back. Strut. Not in pride, but confidently, knowing that you are a son or a daughter of the Most High. Shalom.